Hi everybody. In a recent video we took a look at a comparison between the mighty Threadripper, which we see a little bit off screen to our left, which is a 24-core 48 thread processor, and the tiny little mini-ITX board that we're going to use for comparisons, running a Ryzen 3 4300GE, which is a 4-core 8-thread processor that's takes only 35 watts. The G stands for graphics, it's got a built-in Radeon graphics, and the E stands for low energy. It's only a 35 watt processor instead of the 65 watt that you normally expect in a Ryzen 3. And on the right we see the rest of the traveling rig. We see a flat panel, ultra thin, very light display that's powered by USB, and a 60% size, not quite full size keyboard. That's an AND Pro 2, it's a mechanical keyboard, and a Microsoft wireless mouse. Let's pause the video for a moment to take a look at to lift the lid up and see what's inside the box. We've taken the lid off the box, and what we're looking at here is the motherboard. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit here, see if I can do that without messing stuff up. There we go. And this is a fairly typical arrangement for a mini-ITX board in a low power, in a low profile case. What makes it all work is that we're using a Noctua NH-L9A AM4 fan. It's a Chromax black fan, which is only I think about 36 millimeters high, so it allows for a very, very low power case. The top of the case comes in right over top of that fan with just enough room to provide airflow. If you like, there's room at towards the bottom of the cases. We're looking to put in a couple of 40 millimeter fans. Actually, you can put them in on either side if you use 10 millimeter thick fans for additional airflow, but that's not really necessary. In this particular case, we have the Ryzen 3 4300GE. We have a 1 terabyte M2 SSD. That's the red stick that you see there. That could quite easily be a 2 terabyte SSD, and it would still take about the same amount of power. This particular machine has 16 gigabytes of RAM in it. Could be 32 gigabytes of RAM. To fit into a very, very low height case, there's no graphics card in this machine other than the onboard Radeon graphics that's built into the Ryzen 3. Now those make for a spectacular consumer-grade graphics in terms of running games. You can run 4K resolution games, for example, with no problems. And it actually does have quite a few Radeon Vega cores, but they're not used for a GPU. Manifold is so fast, just using parallel CPU, that even without a GPU, Manifold running on this machine, just using the 8 threads CPU parallel, will absolutely crush Esri running on the 48 thread Threadripper, even though there's a GPU in that machine. If you wanted to, you could use a slightly higher case than the one we're using here, and if you make the case only about I think about 20 millimeters higher, and there are cases like that, you can fit in a half-height graphics board, which will get you half-height NVIDIA graphics board, which will get you over 1,000 GPU cores, about 1,024 GPU cores. So if you wanted to, you could up the ante on the form factor here. Using the same case, you could use a Ryzen 5 GE, which graphics and low power, and 32 gigabytes, which will the Ryzen 5 gets you 6 cores, so that's 12 threads, and 12 CPU threads with 32 gigabytes of RAM. Running Manifold is one heck of a GIS beast that'll absolutely crush anything else that you can run, Arc or QGIS or anything like that. But if you wanted to amp it up even higher, like I say, use a slightly higher case in this very low profile case, and you can plug in a half-height NVIDIA graphics card and get about 1,000 GPU cores. Now, to power all that, you're going to need a larger power supply than that's in this little thing. This guy's only got a 120 watt power supply. To run the extra GPU card and all that other stuff, you're going to have to go to probably a 250 watt power supply, and that's going to involve a larger desktop, larger wall adapter. So you're going to be carrying around, like some of the larger laptops do, a fairly large adapter. You're not going to be able to get away with the really tiny wall adapter that this guy uses, the 12-volt adapter. Be that as it may, you can see how small the form factor is and how you can get way, way more power and in a configurable machine a lot easier than a laptop. And the cool thing about all this, by the way, is that when you're working with components like this with mini-ITX, as processors change in price, as higher performance processors come out, motherboards evolve, you can use the same case and recycle a lot of the same components to say put in more SSD, put in more RAM, put in a cooler processor, For example, if you use a higher case, you could use a Ryzen 9 in this. You could actually put a 16-core, 32-thread processor into a case about this size, maybe just a hair larger. So that, it's nice to be able to have that upgradability without dealing with a laptop where everything's soldered in, or dealing with the really wretchedly unergonomic and junky keyboards that you get with laptops. Even good laptop keyboards aren't anywhere near as good as, say, the And Pro 2 that we're using here at Right, which is a truly wonderful mechanical keyboard. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick video. This takes us into the world of graphics and very cool GIS systems that you can just throw into your rucksack or an backpack and carry along with you. They're easily to carry on board. In fact, you can carry this whole rig with this thin display and keyboard and all the rest of it in a carry-on bag and not come even close to your carry-on weight limits or anything like that. So you can travel worldwide and have a really powerful thing. In fact, you can run this on board most airliners these days, which do have plug-in power sources. So you don't have to worry about dragging around a heavy battery because you're not going to need it or use it. Thanks for watching, and goodbye from Manifold Land. Well, that was fun. If you want to see more, visit us at www.manifold.net. As always, Manifold delivers the world's most advanced, highest quality spatial products for GIS and DBMS at a low price that you can afford. Once again, that's manifold.net. See you soon.